Lesson 2.8, angle relationships formed by a transversal. So what is a transversal? Well, a transversal is a line that passes through two or more other lines. When a transversal passes through lines that are parallel, there are specific angle relationships that are formed. So in this diagram, we need to know that this line here is parallel to this line. Remember, they have the little arrows on them. And then this line, I'll highlight it, is actually called the transversal. So the transversal is the line that cuts through two other parallel lines. Okay, so it's usually at some kind of angle. The notes are pretty short. I just went ahead and put all 6 different relationships we need to know. We can pick out some examples, and that will give you something to look back at. The first relationship that is formed is what's called corresponding angles. If something corresponds to something else, it goes with it. And in this diagram, this angle and this angle would be corresponding. I'll highlight the transversal again, and that makes it a little easier. And then these are my parallel lines. See how if I were to snip right here and then float this down, see how this would be right on top of this? These are in the same corresponding area. Also look at it here, there are 4 angles that are being formed. This angle here I would call the top left spot, and in this section of 4 angles, this is also in the top left. So see how they're the exact same spot. By looking at our diagram above, that could be like angles 1 and 5. Can you find any other ones? It could be like 3 with 7. It could be 2 and 6. It could be 4 and 8. They all correspond, and they're in the same location as one another. The next relationship is called alternate interior angles. Those 2 words mean something. Alternate means on opposite sides of the transversal. Interior means on the inside of the parallel lines. So see how these angles are on opposite sides. One's on the left, one's on the right of our transversal, and they're on the inside of the parallels. They are congruent, and I guess I didn't say corresponding angles are always congruent as well. Versus look at alternate exterior. So these are interior, these are exterior. They're still on alternate or opposite sides of our transversal. See, one's on the left, one's on the right, but they're on the outside of the parallels. So they're outside versus these are inside. Let's pick out some angles from above that would fit these categories. Alternate interior, the one that our picture is showing is like angle 4 and 5. And the only other example of alternate interior would be 3 and 6. They're on opposite sides, they're inside the parallels. Alternate exterior, so now we're looking on the outside, that takes out angles 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're looking at 1, 2, 7, and 8. We could say angle 1 and 8. And we could say angle 2 and 7. So all of those relationships, the angles will be the same measure. Next ones are vertical. We've already talked about that. They're also congruent. They're going to be opposite from one another. Those we've already done, so I don't know that we need to do any more. That would be like 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 5 and 8, 6 and 7. Those just deal with one of the parallel lines. They're not from one parallel line to the other. Consecutive interior angles. Consecutive means on the same side. So sometimes they'll call them same side, sometimes they'll call them consecutive angles. Same side interior. They're going to be on the same side of the transversal and then inside the parallel lines. They make supplementary angles. They're going to make 180 degrees, and obviously you can tell these angle measures are not the same. This looks like a big obtuse angle, and this is an acute angle. They're not equal. And then we've got consecutive or same side exterior angles. See how they're on the same side of the transversal, but they're outside the parallel lines. Looking at my picture above, zoom out. Looks blurry. that helped. Maybe it didn't. If I wanted to find same side interior, that would be like angles 3 and 5 and 4 and 6. And then the same side or consecutive exterior, so they have to be on the same side, would be like 2 and 8, and then it would be 1 and 7. So 2 and 8 and 1 and 7. Once you get familiar with them, they're not too bad.